Azathoth.
Yeah, but can he beat Goku though?
As I was saying, Azathoth, the nuclear chaos, the demon sultan, and the blind idiot god. But is he big strong though? Of course he is, but that is something you and I already know. What we are here to find out is exactly how big his number is. How many Gokus is he worth? But before we talk about that, let me tell you a story. Oh, and by the way, this video is part of a series covering the Lovecraftian gods. I am assuming you have watched my previous videos. If you haven't, links in the description. Alright, story time. So, in the beginning, the other gods were born. How or why they were born, it is said that only Azathoth knows. The rest of us only know that they were born. Chief among the other gods was Azathoth, who exists at the center of all creation. Now, the other gods hunger incessantly, and since they are mindless, they cannot recognize friend from foe, so they are known to engage in cannibalism, and Azathoth is no exception. But since Azathoth is so much more powerful than the rest of the other gods, it is likely that he could eventually devour all of them if he is left unchecked, and so to prevent this, the amorphous flute player circled around him and began to play a song that would keep him sedated. It then became the job of others, mainly Nyarlathotep, to regularly feed Azathoth, until the day comes when Azathoth has received enough sacrifices that he can step into the physical realm, and then he will have his final banquet. And that's it, that's his story. Now let's talk about why he would take your favorite character's lunch money. So, Azathoth is the strongest of the other gods. In universe, Lovecraft gives him top dog status. Even Nyarlathotep is afraid of him. With this, we can right away bring back our friend the staircase, and Azathoth will go right here. But is that it? Is that all Azathoth has to offer? Just a couple of statements? Well, kinda actually. Azathoth is strong because he's said to be strong, but he doesn't really do much. However, there are still some minor things we can go over. For example, in the Dreamlands, there is this mountain called Engranek. At one side of this mountain, there is a valley of infinite size, and the other gods turn it into a sea of lava. This feat is credited to all of the other gods in general, but remember, Azathoth scales above the rest of the other gods, so he, by himself, should be capable of performing something greater than this. In addition, Azathoth is the only of the other gods that has destroyed a planet. This happens far into the future. At this point, humanity has been long gone. The only human alive is a time traveler dreamer. Regular humans living on Earth, there are none. And in fact, if there are any sentient creatures ruling the planet around this time, they are spider people. It is at this point when Nyarlathotep summons Azathoth into the physical realm, and Azathoth one-shots the planet. Unfortunately, we don't know what happens after. Does Azathoth goes around rampaging throughout the physical realm, or does he go back to the void because he didn't have enough gas in the tank to remain physical? We don't know. One thing is for certain, whatever fate awaits the physical realm, mankind won't be there to witness it. Also, since I mentioned the physical realm, let's bring back the map I made because I need to give it a small update. I should have done this since I talked about Shub, but it kinda slipped my mind. At this point, we are pretty deep into Lovecraftian lore, so instead of using terms I made up, let's use the terms Lovecraft used. So, the part of the map that I've been calling the physical realm, Lovecraft referred to that as the material sphere. And this part of the map, the multiverse, Lovecraft referred to that as the ordered universe. I know that referring to an entire multiverse as a universe can be confusing, but it is how it works. So let's make those changes real quick, and just so you know, I will use these terms from now on. If I ever talk about this part of the map again, I will call it the material sphere from now on. Hopefully it's not too confusing. Alright, now let's go back to Azathoth one-shotting the Earth, because there's something else I have to say about that. Before Azathoth shows up on Earth, the gods of Earth appear and try to rescue the time-traveling dreamer, but as soon as Azathoth is summoned, the gods of Earth skedaddle, they run away, which shows that the gods of Earth are terrified of Azathoth. Now, going back to the powers of Azathoth, the music used to keep Azathoth asleep is not a joke. Let me give you some sense of scale. Nyarlathotep owns... how do I put this in a way that doesn't trigger the algorithm? Nyarlathotep owns non-paid servants, and these servants have trumpets. The sound from these trumpets can one-shot night guns. And now, the amorphous flute players are exponentially more powerful than the trumpeters of Nyarlathotep. And not only are the flute players more powerful, but the music of the flute players is exponentially stronger. And Azathoth is being blasted 24/7 by this really strong music produced by these really strong guys, and all it does is that it makes them sleepy. And finally, before I move on to something else, Azathoth is really big. In general, Lovecraft tends to compare the other gods with planets and stars, and that already makes Azathoth a really big guy.
For you.
But in addition, Azathoth is said to be boundless. Now, this can be taken as a reference to either his power or his size. If we take it as a reference to his size, this would make Azathoth infinite in size. Alright, that's it. That's all I have to say regarding the powers of Azathoth. Now let's talk about his weakness. Weakness? What? Weakness, I hear you exclaim. That's right. See, from the very beginning, I've been purposely withholding a little piece of information from you, because I was waiting until we got to this moment. The other gods have a weakness to light. It hurts them, and with enough of it, you can even kill them. This applies to all of them, even mighty Azathoth. And now that I said that, all Dragon Ball fans that care about power levels will unanimously cheer in glee and victoriously declare, yes, we did it! Goku's ki naturally emits light. Goku would be walking kryptonite for the other gods. All Goku would have to do is just turn Super Saiyan and all of the other gods would be atomized because Goku has a really big number. And to anyone who thinks that, no. Alright, now we can move on to the miscellaneous section. These are things that kinda have to do with Azathoth, but have nothing to do with his powers. Number 1, Azathoth is actually not called Azathoth. In universe, the guy who wrote the Necronomicon called this entity Azathoth just to give it a name, but that is not his real name, and it is actually said that no one dares to say the real name of Azathoth. Number 2, Lovecraft played with the idea that if you are aware of the other gods, they in turn become aware of you. That is a really cool idea, and it's the closest this setting gets to even being remotely spooky, but Lovecraft didn't fully commit to this premise. Even then, this mechanic should technically still apply. Number 3, Azathoth can speak, although it is said that he doesn't understand what he's saying. He is actually not the only one who does this. There is this creature called Orn. It can be argued this creature comes from the void, and although Orn can speak, he is actually just repeating what other people tell him to in exchange for food. The point I'm trying to make here is that even though Azathoth can talk, that does not mean he can think. Number 4, regarding his physical appearance, Azathoth is said to be amorphous, but he must have at least one mouth and one head. Number 5, the other gods. All of them in general, they all smell really bad. In fact, that's how you can tell they are nearby, because apparently they all smell disgusting. Number 6, dogs absolutely hate the creatures from the void. In one story, one of the Migo lands on the roof of a house, and then a dog jumps on the roof of the house just so that it can attack this thing. Dogs go ballistic when they feel a creature from the void nearby. As for why this happens, unfortunately Lovecraft never explains it. Number 7, the music used to make Azathoth fall asleep is said to be older than the other gods themselves. And finally, number 8, the other gods used to gather in 2 specific locations. One of them was a mountain called Hatekla, and the other gods used to go there to dance. Yeah, I bet you didn't expect to learn about Azathoth's love for dancing when you click on this video now, did you? And that's it. That is absolutely everything I have to say regarding Azathoth. So now, we can finally address the eternal meme. Let's talk about the nonsensical notion that Azathoth dreams reality. A lot of people say this. I am here to inform you that this is not true. Lovecraft wrote almost 100 stories, and there isn't a single mention about Azathoth dreaming reality. You will not find a single line of text written by Lovecraft that states Azathoth dreams reality. If you ever see somebody saying that Azathoth dreams reality, please correct them, please inform them that this is not true, and tell them that they can look it up for themselves. Alright, that would do it. We covered the big one. So that's it, right? We covered all of the Lovecraftian gods, we learned some stuff along the way, and now we can all go home and continue with our lives, right? Well, we still haven't talked about Yog-Sothoth. Does that mean that Yog-Sothoth is stronger than Azathoth? And to find the answer to that question, you will have to tune in next time on Dragon Ball Z. But the answer is yes, Yog-Sothoth is the strongest. Alright, see you on that video. Bye!